Do you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everyone. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Wealth Management, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. I hope you've had a fantastic day today. I'm doing pretty well myself. I've had a very interesting day, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. Right now, the market seems to be on a tear, and it seems like there's absolutely no reason why it should be going up the way it's going up. But I've talked to my clients about the bottoming process of the stock market and how it works. I've talked about the market goes up. There's a reason for that. I've talked about why the market goes down and what the reason is for that. And a lot of it is purely psychological, and it is media driven. And the title of my show today is Pride, the Silent Killer of Your Retirement Dreams. And I'm going to address several different things today. And this show is designed to help you get from where you are today to where you really want to be. But today's show is probably, I wouldn't say it's one of the most important shows I've done, but it addresses the 800, 900, 10,000 pound gorilla that's sitting beside you when you're making your financial decisions. And quite frankly, a lot of it is based on pride. Some of it is downright arrogance. And pride and arrogance are not necessarily bad things in and of themselves. It depends on the context in which they are used and the environment in which they are used. You can have pride in your children. You can be extremely arrogant or confident in yourself, your skills, your ability, and it's a confidence that's just so awesome. It's so amazing that people think you're conceited. They think you are arrogant. What's the other word? Narcissistic, stuck up, whatever it might be. And again, in the right environment, those things are pretty awesome. But in the wrong environment, they are extremely deadly. And I want to talk to you about that. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3, let's get it. And as I was preparing for today's conversation with you folks, I went for a swim after work today and just kind of went for a swim and then, sat out in the hot tub or whatnot, the jacuzzi, and just kind of sat there thinking about, how I wanted to share this with you. And so I did a little research and I came across an article that I thought was extremely interesting. And it's investor.fm, why value investing requires thoughtful arrogance. And so they use the word thoughtful arrogance, and they go on to talk about the theory of buying low and selling high, because it's a theory, and they talk about how the upswings in the market are accompanied by optimism and positive news, or at least they say the positive spin that the crowd puts on the news. And one of the things I was talking to my clients about is in the bottoming process of the stock market, first you get this big downdraft on how bad it is. Sell, get out now. The house is on fire. Call the fire department, get your neighbor's water hose, put this thing out. And they go on to talk about how Mike Tyson says everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And so, you watch all the negative news, you make your trades based on that. The thing is not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better until they always say, it's not going to get any better until this, until that. So they're setting the stage. They are driving the narrative. And when the market goes down, that's when you ought to be buying with both hands and both feet. But you got punched in the mouth, right? Your lip is busted. You got punched in the eye. It's all black. You're in pain. You're hurting. You just can't believe emotionally how your portfolio went down and you just lost all this money. You talk to your wife and you tell her, honey, I think we got to cancel that trip to Disney with the kids this summer because right now things aren't looking too good, right? Now, if you're honest, yeah, that's fantastic. You say that, but some people, you know what? They don't even tell the truth. They just put it on a credit card and they just pretend like everything is great just so that they can keep peace. And that's even more dangerous. And that's a psychological thing. So we know to buy when the market is down, but then you get hit in the face. So what I want to talk about is very simple. And I'm going to say it is okay to what, how do they say? You don't know what you don't know. And I play golf quite a bit, and I've been playing for a while now. I'm getting a lot better. And I decided to seek out help. You know, I was watching YouTube videos and different things like that. And I've done different training sessions with different coaches and different PGA professionals and things like that. And it's so funny because one of the things that a lot of them don't really tell you is what the golf swing should feel like. There's so many different nuances to the golf swing. There's so many different parts to the golf swing. And I've learned that it's not really a golf swing. It's more of a shifting your weight from the left side to the right side, lowering the club, and then keeping your back to the target as long as you can. And that's the shift to the left side. So it's shifting your weight and when to get your weight off the left side and then where the pressure should be in your feet and so on and so forth. So I got another coach and he's really into all of that with the pressure plates and things like that because he's trying to get me to see where my weight should be, where the club should be in different parts of the swing. He catches me on camera and he hooks me up to these different things. And it's just really neat, the technology. And this is what the pros use. And so I believe I was watching that golf tournament that they have in Hawaii over on Maui. And I've actually played that course and it's a very beautiful course, Kapalua Maui. It is fantastic. It is phenomenal. It's one of the greatest views you'll ever see or experience on a golf course. And they had Hideki Matsuyama, one of my favorite golfers from Japan. My wife is from Japan. And so I do watch a lot of golf and I watch the Japanese ladies, the Korean ladies, and these people are pretty good. And so they caught Hideki in this process of the takeaway of the club, the keeping his back to the target, shifting and lowering the club riding down the front of his body as he makes the shift, keeping the face to the closing the face of the club to the target, just all of these different things. And I had to let go of my pride and realize that I didn't know what I didn't know about the golf swing. And I began working with someone who taught me what it should feel like. He would say, Harold, so what is your body feeling right now? I feel this part loading on my backside, on my back leg. I feel like there's a load there, and then I unload it here. It's just very technical. And investing is the same way. And the first thing I want to talk about is why pride can cause you to, if you're managing yourself, to hold on too long or to sell at the wrong time. And one of the first people that I work with was kind of like a mentor to me in investing world. He said, never fall in love with any particular stock. Never fall in love with a particular stock. And some people just tend to fall in love with a theory that they have in their head, or they know this company is going to be the next big thing. They know, and it could be. But again, when the technicals go against you and the fundamentals go against you, you have to make that decision. All right. So maybe I get out now and take my profits and I wait for another entry point. Okay. Or I just sit there and I want to beat my chest and say, you know, I want to get 10,000 shares of Apple stock. I mean, that might be, but why? Are you trying to accumulate 10,000 shares of Apple stock because it's in accordance to your well-balanced financial plan? And again, investments do carry risk of loss, right? So make sure you're investing according to a well-balanced financial plan that covers all your goals, understand your risk tolerance, your horizons, and different things like that. So you don't get caught in making these trades at the wrong time. Your plan should dictate what you buy, when you buy it, what you sell, when you sell it. And if you are understanding the technicals and the fundamentals, that stuff should also drive it. But a lot of people don't dive too deep into any of that because number one, they don't want to pay for the tools. Number two, they think they can read articles and understand how it all works. And, you know, you might get lucky. That might be okay. But when the market punches you in the face, what do you do? Do you hold or you trim? What do you do? Or do you panic and sell everything? No, when the media starts a blitz, even the big hedge fund managers, even they can't contend with the pressure of the media. They just can't, because the media causes a stampede to the door. And so you'll get certain people selling, then you'll start to get the institutions selling, then you'll start to get, like, the hedge funds and even the professionals, they cave under pressure. You know why? Because they're managing billions, gabillion, gazillions, quadrillions, and illions, or whatever you want to call it, of dollars. And they have their strategies that state, hey, this is when we get in, this is when we get out. So if the technicals cause a downdraft in the stock and the position, it begins to fall through its technical points, the algorithms can make that even worse. And the algorithms will say, hey, okay, we're at this level, get out, get out, get out. And then this algorithm kicks in, the other algos kick in, and they all algo kick in, and they sell everything off. And it causes a stampede to the door. Now, if you're in this position, there's one or two things you probably can do. You probably can basically buy more of it and wait, depending on a couple of different things. If the fundamentals of the stock haven't changed, why would you get rid of it? Why would you sell it just because everybody else is scared and running to the door? You know why? Because it's a psychological issue. There's things like pride of being wrong. Like, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about this? What if these guys are right? What if the media is right? What if things are not going to get better for a long time? What if? You have all of that, but what does your plan say? Your plan says buy more. Your plan says you should have money sitting on the sidelines or coming from different places to be able to do that. But the investors and the professionals are caving because they have clients that are demanding them to stop the bleeding. So I'm going to tell you, it's okay to need help. It's okay to understand that. Here's one thing I want to tell you. Ceding control to an expert isn't failure. It's your ticket, in some cases, to retiring on time. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. And you have to cede control to the right expert or the right investment advisor, somebody who is an active money manager, who's very active in the portfolio, who's shifting and lowering, adding, increasing at the right times in the face of all the negativity. This is where I believe that I'm extremely arrogant in understanding our strategy, why we built the strategy, and how to take advantage of the buy low, sell high in the market. Now, do we get it right every single time? No, we could be early to the party, or we could be late getting out the party. Sometimes you don't know. But again, if you're trying to shoot for certain rates of returns every single year, not average rates of return, but actual rates of return. So let's say I got 50% this year, and this is a hypothetical, and all of a sudden the market turns, I hang on a little bit too long, and I'm up 70%, and dang it, I just stay in that position too long, and it goes down 20%. Did I still get my 50% that year? Yeah. So the problem is it could be up 70%, it could drop down 20%, and then go up another 40%. Why? Because if the fundamentals of that position has not changed, when all the negative media begins to turn positive and say, like we have right now in this situation, all right, so there's hopes of trade deals. The market is up because there's hopes of trade deals. That's bullcrap. The market is down because of the tariffs. The market is down because of this. Now the market is up because of that. The media will tell you why the market is up and down. They want to paint the narrative. And the question is, has anyone checked under the hood to see if the car is still working right? No, they just sold the car because someone said the car is horrible. You don't need this car anymore. You don't want this kind of car. You want a different kind of car, and they drive the narrative. And this is why 97% of the people in the country can't retire in time, because they're controlling their portfolios based on narratives. And I'm going to tell you, you have to trust the right professional, someone who's looking at your portfolio every single day. And that's what we do here at Brightree Wealth Management, is we look at our clients' portfolios every single day. We have thousands of accounts. And how do we look at them every day? Well, we have our strategy. So we watch the strategy. And if your portfolio is in that strategy, when we know what that portfolio is doing, because it is tied to a strategy. If that strategy is up, your portfolio is up. If that strategy is down, your portfolio is down. We know that. We don't have to open up each and every single one. Not necessarily, but a lot of times we do that. I have a team of people that they will do that. There's people on my team, they don't talk to no one other than me. You won't even know about them, that they're on our team, and they're watching things like a radar. And sometimes they have to go in and make adjustments. And I oversee all of that. So it's okay. to give up some control. I'm not saying you have to give up all the control, but it's okay to give up some control. And here's what I want to say to you. I want you to take advantage of this opportunity now and put yourself in position with me to potentially retire in the next 5 years or so with enough that is going to last you your entire life. What we need to do is put together a game plan. Okay, so you're down 30% and you sold everything. And so when do we get back in? Well, it's not when do we get back in, it's how we get back in and where we get back in and who do we get back into? What is our theme? What is our investment strategy? What is our theme? And it doesn't matter the downturn, because all of these downturns are just opportunities to add to the positions on a much lower basis. And that's all that is. There's a lot of people out there asking these questions, right? Do-it-yourself investment states and, pride and arrogance and self-management, investing psychology, and so on and so forth. And I want to let you, I want to say, don't let pride cost you another 5 years. Don't let pride keep you struggling unnecessarily because, number one, you think the investment guys are just ripping you off. You think you can do it yourself and not have to pay anybody. You think you can do it with low-cost mutual funds and things like that because, honestly, there's a lot of talk out there and there's a lot of free this, free that, no-cost trades, no fees. Look, if we can get you 40, 50, 60% a year in certain situations or just at one time or these opportunities of chaos, so what? Are you that stingy that 60% you can't give up too because you're so stingy? And if you are, that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to genuine people that say, hey, I've been trying to do this on my own. I don't trust anybody. I don't know who to talk to. I don't even want to show anybody what I got because they're going to try to sell me on all kinds of crap. And yeah, that might be true. But here at Bright Tree Wealth Management, we are not like that at all. And again, if you get started with us, you don't have to stay. Again, you shouldn't have anybody on your team that's not performing. Okay. If they're on your team and they're not performing, they ought to be fired. That's my take. If you talk to me, I don't perform, get rid of me. I'm okay with that. So visit brightfg.com and get on my schedule. Or you can listen to you can listen to our next show or this next episode to learn how to time the market without guessing. There's a strategy to it. And it's all based on taking advantage of chaos. Chaos can be your best friend. Volatility can become your best friend. So don't feel bad about reaching out for help. You don't know what you don't know. And as I say to everyone, you can't make a decision without knowing what you're deciding on. So what I do offer for everyone who gets in contact with me, offer them a mock financial plan based on everything they share with me, all the things that they want to do. I build a mock financial plan for free, and then I discuss it with them. And if they like it and they want to start to implement it, we get started, and then we can talk about fees and stuff like that then. But if you don't like the plan, you don't have to go with it. It's not like I charge you for the plan up front and you're like, okay, Harold charged me all this money up front. The plan sucks. I don't like it. No, we want you to get in there and look at it and test drive my thought process, and then you can decide based on what you see. And I'm not selling you anything. It's just a casual conversation about what I think your opportunities are and how we can make things work for you. And then you can decide from there. I don't want you to be afraid to ask for help. So thank you everyone for listening into the show. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is the podcastfactory.com.